Hello, my friend. Welcome to Chord Dave Live number 110, which means officially, if you watched every single Chord Dave Live from number one all the way through to today on a Saturday, just one a week, it would take you 2 years to catch up with us. And then we'd be 2 years ahead. So it'd be a never ending thing. So don't do that. It'd be a waste of your time. But hopefully you are doing well. Glad to have you with us. I am just way annoyed with YouTube today because it's driving me crazy. Two funny things have happened. YouTube put the video that was supposed to go out tomorrow out today. I did not make the mistake. YouTube made the mistake. I think it's something to do with memberships, and there being nobody signed up for the memberships yet. So instead of it pushing it to members, it just pushed it to everybody. However, the happy coincidence is it's the number one performing video on the channel in like 18 months. So good job, YouTube. I appreciate you. Your massive cock up that worked in my favor. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's doing well, guys. Thank you to everybody who watched it, made comments and stuff like that. I was having a look through them this afternoon. You guys are making some sense. Some of you are kind of wacky, but that's fine. We can talk about that if you want to talk about today's video. If you've seen it, we can talk about that. We can talk about other guitar things. Obviously, we want to talk about the Epiphones that we spoke about in those videos. In that video, I should say. And other things. If you've got any other NAMM stuff that came up after last week's show or any other stuff whatsoever, feel free to throw it in the chat today. I got myself some new strap locks, so came with free beer. So thank you so much for joining me wherever you are in the world. Let's launch it. Yeah, so this is not the only thing YouTube's done weird today. Comments, chat is actually showing up weird, and I fixed it, but I fixed it about halfway through all the comments that are there. So I've got to make my way through as best I can and then jump in to the rest of the live stream. So from now on, it'll be live, but I'll have to catch up to whatever you're saying now first. I think I'm a good bit into it before I switch to actual live comments. It's a top chat. I'll do my best to get everyone in. If I don't get you, I'm sorry. It's YouTube's fault for being just weird this weekend. I can't complain about it because it's doing better than any video in the last 18 months, weirdly enough. However, that does mean there may be new people here in Chord Dave Live for the first time. And I want to welcome you and say, hey, if it is your first time on Chord Dave Live, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. You got to wait 60 seconds after you subscribe to hit the chat. But if you do, say hello, and we will, say hello back because we're nice and friendly. Most of us are nice and friendly. Scott Bogfoot was in the chat first of all, followed by Rob F, which is nice to see. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. Scott says good so far. Broke/fractured a rib on Monday. Agony ever since. That doesn't sound good, Scott, but yeah, Jesus, that's painful, man. So take care of yourself. Glad to have you with us so much. Formerly known as T is here. Great to see you, T. Hope all's good with you. Yeah, that's I'm rocked by Scott's news right there, to be honest. T says it's almost beer time. It's always beer time on our Saturday. I've had a crazy week. I can't really go into it, but Sunday last week was the weirdest day of my life. Yeah. So I feel like, do you ever just feel like you might have slipped into an alternative reality in a moment on a last Sunday? I feel like that might have happened. Because YouTube's doing well, pushing my video out to loads of people that it hasn't done in a long time. The week's just been weird. Couple of things worked out this week that I wasn't expecting, and also just there's just so much like craziness going on. But anyways, hopefully we get through Chord Dave Live without any craziness. It's not likely, but we'll see. Anyways, sorry to drop that in, but we'll see how we're getting on. Good to see you guys having a good chat in the comments. Who's a T says, can you still play guitar? To Scott says, standing I can, sitting the top out or horn is right on the rib. Ouch, yeah, ribs are not good. Although you have something in common with Slash, because apparently he broke ribs recently. and was playing as well. And people were like, "What the hell are you doing? Just relax." And he's like, "No, I'm going to play guitar." Um, but there you go. That's the dedication of a guitar player like Scott Bogfoot and Slash. Those two have things in common. Buglip says, I went guitar shopping with Bogfoot today. That could be a great series, Guitar Shopping with Bogfoot. I would watch that. I watched the crap out of that, to be honest. I can't sniff, sneeze, cough, fart, laugh, breathe, heavy, sleep, sit, or stretch. Quite productive. Yeah, that's a bit it's a bit restrictive there, Scott. Sorry to hear that, my friend, but hopefully you will feel better soon. Formerly known as T says, I suppose I'd better get this out there before the bearded one shows up. Chelsea got steamrolled the other night, lost 4-1, in all fairness, to Liverpool. They played fantastic. See you in the cup. Um, for people who don't watch football or soccer, and they just know a girl called Chelsea, they're like, what happened to her? But yes, I was quite happy. T, as they say in somewhere, your boys took quite a beating. So yeah, I was quite happy with it, to be quite honest. Uh, Buglips, how was the new amp? Says Scott Buglip says the LT25 has a lot more low end than I'm used to. We'll have to dial it in some. And yeah, it's interesting. Dumb question. It's a guitar amp, not a bass amp, right? I mean, you should have checked if it was shopping with Bogfoot. Surely that's something that's on you, Scott, if it is. Booklip says, yeah, I bought a left-handed six-string JS22 and they're setting it up with the Dario 10 to 46s. Frets are brutal sharp, so they're going to smooth them out. Yeah, you don't want brutal sharp frets, so that's good. Fister Roboto, great to see you in the chat, sir. Says, hey everyone, how's it going? And Scott Bog, but it kind of sucks about your rib. Guess you'll have to hold your farts in till it's healed. There you go. That's some great advice right there. Great to see you, Fister. Hope all's good with you, sir. Buglip says, it's ostensibly a guitar amp. Sounds like bass, but I think I'll double check that. We're always worth double checking. Uh, T says, that's rough. Had some back issues through the years. Worst time to catch a head cold. Oh, absolutely, man. I've been there too. Also bought an LT25 Fender amp, some Ernie Ball 10 to 46s to try on Rap Nasty, and a selection of picks with grip, cat tongues, Ernie Ball. Everlasts, says Bug Lips. Great stuff, sir. You certainly did go shopping today. Full list right there. Glad you didn't ask me to carry your amp out for you. I'm severely injured. Didn't say anything because I haven't told Mrs. Bogfoot yet. Yeah, you should do that. Before she asks you to lift something or do something, just in general. No context to that. Just you don't want to be doing stuff when you got a broken rib. Explains why you were toughing it out like a champ. Indeed, Scott is a champ. He's our champ. Let me see. Okay, my LT25 is a guitar amp, it's not a bass amp, but they look different. Good, sir. Glad you didn't at this point realize you're an error. So it's all good. I'm dialed in for the Frontman 10, which was basically zero low end. So the 25 seems like it's all low end. Great stuff. I looked for Gator grips, couldn't find any. It says bug lips again. Still, any kind of texture is better than the super greasy Alice ones. Hey, don't say nothing about the Alice ones, okay? I got so fed up, I glued my 1.5 mil to my fingers to keep it from slipping. The new one's much improved. There you go. Formerly known as T, says Dave, I'm thinking of getting into doing t-shirts. First one, a map of Europe. Caution, inside map. Darwin couldn't score in Amsterdam. Sir, I don't get the Darwin hate, man. You got to watch him more. He's actually really good, and his goal involvement is fantastic. It's better than anyone in the league. So shush with the Darwin hate, okay? All right, just plus he's gonna score a hat trick in the final. So shut up. Love you, T. You know I do. Rob F says my day was much less exciting than Buglips. Cleaned, polished, and restrung my Strat. Then my new digital delay pedal arrived, and I played with it for a bit this afternoon. That sounds like a lot of fun, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyone new here, welcome. You'll have to subscribe and wait 1 minute before you can chat in the best chat on YouTube, says Scott. That's true. And also, don't run afoul of Scott because he's got all the power. So, not all the power. I got a little bit of it too. But, it's all good. Let me see. How far are we away from finding where the actual chat is. Um, all right. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm further. Oh, actually, I might be able to catch up with myself here. All right, cool. Give me 2 seconds and I will do that. All right, yes, I can see all these chats that I've already read out. Sweet, YouTube is not coming back, but I think I'm back on. I think I'm. Oh, I think I've gone ahead. That's what's happened right now for some of the things. Anyway, we'll start with here. Buglip says, Rob F. There was a short scale mini Ibanez left hand there I thought about, but my fingers are too fat for the high frets. Interesting stuff indeed. I'd have to glue toothpicks to my fingers to get there. That's one way of doing it for sure. Although I don't know about the toothpicks being strong enough, but hey, you didn't go that way, so it's all good. Dennis Ellis is here. Great to see it. Dennis says, "Kick it, rock it, bug foot it, if you dare." I think that's a great slogan for Bugfoot's channel. To be quite honest, I love it. Great stuff indeed. Bug Lips says, "I'm not sure the scale length, but the frets are more narrow. It's like a little kid's guitar or an electric ukulele. It looks cute, but not quite cute enough." I'm just gonna blow past that one. Formerly known as T says, I watched the Mark Knopfler guitar auction at Christie's. Made shit. Blew estimates completely out of the water. Yeah, well, what I was amazed by was his Norland era Les Paul Custom. Was it a Les Paul Custom or a standard? And it went for like 500 grand. I'm like, I know it's Mark Knopfler's, and it's, he recorded some cool stuff with it, but it's a Norland era Les Paul. 2 years ago, people wouldn't give you a shit for one. So, so yeah, even if it was Mark Knopfler's. So I think that's crazy. But, I mean, it ran his actual 59 pretty close and comparatively, a lot closer than a lot of people would have thought. Um, but yeah, definitely an awful lot of cool stuff. I haven't caught up with everything there yet. This has been one of the craziest weeks of my life. I feel like I say every week I've had a crazy week or a rough week or a long week or whatever, and that is true most weeks. But this has genuinely been the craziest, most surreal week of my life, and yeah, and not always in a good way, but it's weird how things work out. But the Mark Knopfler thing was interesting, and I remember laughing about the Norlands because the funny thing is, Norland era Gibsons are becoming in vogue at the moment. And like a couple of years ago, people would just badmouth them to like ridiculously, as if they were the worst guitars ever made, which is funny. So, because we have current stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't hang up the phone or whatever you're doing. Um, but yeah, it was pretty bad. The Norland era hate was real. And now people are starting to realize, hey, they're not actually that bad. And as a Norland era owner myself, I love my one and I think it's a great guitar. So so I never really got the hate, but yeah, those prices are going up. Thanks to Knopfler. So maybe if someone wants to make me an offer, have to be a really good offer. Dennis Ellis says, "Hey, Chord Dave and everyone. Hope you were all warm and dry." I am all of those things. Dennis, thank you. I hope you are also. Buglip says, "Was very tempted by the Steve Vai signature Ibanez gem." That would be tempting. Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't be my cup of tea, but I don't really drink tea, so that's probably why. Bogba says, "Luckily, the 40 inches of snow is falling on Cape Breton, not here." I mean, that's good. Rob F says, "My grandson's about to get a three-quarter scale Ibanez that I originally gave to my niece. She doesn't play it, and at age 6, my grandson can't put the guitar down when he visits." Um, that was, I mean, that's a good use then, absolutely. Bogman says, "I'm glad your Jackson was new in box, not on display." Uh, I mean, the frets are terrible, so there you go. Uh, yeah. Are the micros Paul Gilbert signatures? I don't know if they are, but they probably should be. Buglip says, "Me too. I don't know how many they might have. It might have been cobwebby old demo model, all rusty and sad." Oh. I mean, how many lefties are there in that part of the world? That's the question to ask yourselves. Buglip says, "Good to Rob, good for it to go to somebody who will play it. All guitars should be played and loved." I mean, there's some shitty ones that shouldn't. So, yeah. Norlinear, no, I'm just kidding. Richard Clark says, man, I've been looking for textured picks too. V picks are okay. I've tried the 0.65 Hertz, but they were too light. I might move to silvers or whatever is next. Should I check out the Gator grips? I don't know. I've never used Gator grips myself. I'm not picky when it comes to picks, so I'll just whatever. I'll make it work. I don't know. I've those kind of hands, terrible ones. So yeah, that's I've never really had too many problems. I will literally use anything as a pick. Um, I have my preferences, but like I use free picks and everything. I'm a wild man. Cushman NYC says, hello people, it's great to see you, Cushman. Hope all is good with you, sir, and that you are having some rolling rocks or something similar. Speaking of, cheers. Um, let's see where we are now. Rob says, formerly known as T, Trogley had planned to bid on one of the Knopfler LPs, but the bidding got quickly beyond his range. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, I planned to buy his actual 59 as well, but shortly after it went over £1,000, I was out of the bidding for some reason. So you know. Drogley has much more of a budget for these things than I do, I am sure. But that would have been a fun purchase. I would have liked to see his video of like I bought Mark Knopfler's LP, for sure. I would much prefer to have my video that I bought Knopfler's Les Paul, but hey, that's never happening. Formerly known as, he says that new ES345 looks good. It's an ES355, sir. But yes, it does look great, and I don't know, man. Like I know I've been giving out about Epiphone prices for a long time, and I've been saying if their prices keep going, their guitars have to get better. I just have a feeling they might have made their guitars really good. Um, so yeah, a few people forwarded me those pictures that I used in the video, and everyone was saying these are a step up from the regular Epiphone offering. So I don't know when exactly we're seeing them. March was the dates I was given. Like I was just told these are coming in March. Um, and one person said after, thankfully, thank you, sir. After the video had been uploaded, sent me a message saying these are actually coming out after March, at sometime after March, but I think they're going to come in March anyway. All of those five guitars that I mentioned in the video, very cool. I think they'll all find an audience, and I don't know. I think they're going to all sell pretty well. The Firebirds are very cool, and they're going to sell incredibly well, particularly if they're 12.99. I think that's kind of a price point that's gonna just be crazy for those because they're great. They look great. The Les Paul will be an interesting one, as I said in the video, because the 59 is already an Epiphone thing. It's already an inspired by Gibson custom thing. It'll be interesting to see how they price those and how they, or if they broach the subject of, hey, those other ones are discontinued now or whatever they do, because they were supposed to be limited edition at some point, weren't they? So, well, I believe these are new, not core lineup, but they're not going away. They're not limited. These inspired by Gibson custom, they're always going to be available. So so yeah, the ES355 looks sweet, as does the Les Paul. They all do. Let's be honest, they all look great. But glad you like that one, T. I think that will be the most expensive one. So you've got expensive taste. Uh, Buglip says, I like the texture on the cat tongues, but the thickest they had was only about 1.30. There you go. See, just not very good with the old choice there. Should at least have 1.5. If they were selling the Plex, I wouldn't have been able to afford one. His Plex. Uh, I don't know. I feel like he just throws them out to people at concerts. Has Mark Knopfler played live in the last few years? Why is he selling all his guitars? Like, I mean, he only made like what 9 million. It couldn't have been that important to him. Like he's sold millions of records, so he must have lots of money anyway. Was it a charity thing? I don't know. Couldn't he just given the money to charity and kept all his guitars? I don't know. But anyway, congrats to the new owners of all his lovely, lovely guitars. Uh, Let me see. Where was I? Sorry, guys. The old usual chat has gone mental. Yes, yes, yes. Where are we now? I know it was Grandpa Joe was the next comment. Always great to see Grandpa Joe in the comment section. Where is the chat? There it is, Grandpa Joe. Greetings, Dave, Scott, Rob, F, Buglips, formerly known as T, Cushman, NYC, Dennis, Ellis, and Richard Clark, and all that will be here. I do hope everyone is doing well today. Indeed, Grandpa Joe, it's great to see you, sir. Hope all's good with you, my friend. Buglip says, hey, I bet if I download more presets, I'll find one I like. That's a possibility. Um, Cushman NYC says, hey, Grandpa Joe, I have a terrible memory. Do you live on Staten Island? And please, I will not call that out if you do, because that is something I shouldn't say. My pedals are set up for a lot of dirt, but all the presets I like on the new amp are drippy surf and modified clean tones. Um, it's weird, yeah, when you go through stuff like that, you might just find something else you didn't think you liked that you now do. That certainly happened to me over the years, for sure. Oh, let's just get to the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I did something. I broke YouTube. YouTube, what are you doing to me, man? It's okay. I can still see that we're still live, but I pressed a button and it was like, oh, we're just going to freeze for a minute. Anyways, we're all good. Tip says, I'm just in this for all the dials and knobs. Makes me feel like a scientician. Scientician is a job I should have gone into, let's be fair. Indeed. Scott Bogfoot says, I want a converter for old Geiger counter into a functional guitar pedal. Want to convert an old Geiger pedal counter into a functional guitar pedal. I mean, that's a project that would be fun to work on for sure. Speaking of tuners, the amp tuner and my pedal tuner do not agree on what my tuning is. Pedal says C, the amp says, nah, brah, it's B. Yep, just trust one of them. Pick one to trust and the other one can be your enemy. That's what I would say. Need a crash course in sound engineering. There may be a calibration function. That's a good interest. Yeah, actually, you never know. D-Max here. Great to see you. D-Max says, almost bought another guitar today. Dodged that bullet. Maybe tomorrow. Hopefully, D-Mac, all the best with that one. Eric Ainsley says, yeah, I'm also here. Hello, peeps. Great to see you, Eric. Hope all's good with you, sir. Lots of things to mess around with in the coming weeks, but it has potential. Nothing better than messing around with things. Scott Brower's here. Great to see you, Scott. I did see your comment somewhere, but this whole YouTube thing, it just disappeared on me. Did I see Scott Brower? I did. There we go. Good to see you, Scott. Hope all's good with you, sir. Who else did I see? One of the troublemakers. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. What beauty did you let slip through your fingers? D-Mac says, formerly known as T. And Scott Bogman says, my high expectations with Jackson's insane quality at affordable prices has not changed. So there you go. Matt Van Bosch is here. Great to see you, Matt. Hope all's good with you, sir. And D-Mac says, it was a Gretsch G5222 or 5222. I never know what to say. In the metallic blue color. That's a beauty, sir. That is a beauty. I like those. I like those a lot. So yeah, good luck resisting it. Yeah, I've never actually played a Gretsch. I'd like to try one out. I think this might be the year. I also think I may have said that last year and in 2022. So we'll see if it ever comes true, but you never know. You never know. The middle of the month, they're having a huge surplus sale, Buglips. Discounts on all the used gear that's been traded into. I presume that's Long and McQuaid in the secret location that those guys are in. Let me see. We got to get together one day for coffee. That's Cushman to Grandpa Joe. There you go. It's a great idea. Chord Dave community people should all get coffee. That's a crazy idea. I won't go into it right now. The Mark Knopfler auction really was insane. I'm really surprised at the prices. Great for the charity that is getting some of the proceeds. Oh, it was for charity. Very cool. Still, though, couldn't all the rock stars just give lots of money to charity? What's going on? Rock stars, you could do that. Buglip says, Scott Bogfoot, well, if you should happen to take a trip down there when they are having a sale, I might happen to buy new things. There you go. And buying new things is the way to satisfy your gas. Richard Clark says, DMAC have a 5655 TG in Azure Blue. I think that's what you're talking about. It is striking. People who don't play but just like to look, go to that guitar first every time when we go to the studio. Great stuff. Hot Chalky Milk at the ready. Let the stream begin, says Fister. Roboto, great to see you, sir. Enjoy that Chalky Milk. It's probably gone by now. Sorry for the the lag in my response. I've been very laggy all week, let's be honest. Eric Ludinger's here says, greetings from Syracuse, New York. Greetings to Syracuse, New York, sir. Glad to have you with us. And Buglip says, I looked that up to Richard Clark. That is one good-looking guitar. It fits then. Al Adolfson is here. Great to see you, Al. Hope all's good with you, sir. And D-Max says, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about playing it, but the color caught my eye. Figured I'd give it a quick go. An hour later, I'm doing gear math again. Gear math is the best, honestly. Ben Allmark's here. Great to see you. Ben says, good evening, all. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you are well, Ben. Nice to see you in the chat. And Wayne McConnell says, Kush, my brother, good day to you. Good day to you, sir. Wayne, hope all's good with you. Mustard says, hi, folks. Hi, Mustard. Good to see you. And Rob F says, my beautiful wife knows where Keyport is. I had to use Google Maps. I have no idea where any of those places you're talking about, guys, are, but I presume they're all good places because you guys are there. Greg McFadden's here, says, cheers, Dave and the gang. Great to see you, Greg. Hope all's good, sir. And there we go. Hello, Dave. Good to see you today, says Rob. So that's about 28 minutes ago. All right, not too bad. We're only 28 minutes behind. So that's probably pretty good, to be honest. YouTube error in your favor is like a modern Monopoly chance card, says Buglips. Indeed, sir, it is. It's the weirdest thing, and I only actually realized it just before we went live. I was like, what? YouTube, I knew they'd put out the video early when they weren't supposed to, or it did, the algorithm or whatever people blame their YouTube success or lack of success on. You know, it can't just be that your videos are shit or great or whatever, or your thumbnail's misleading. Looking at you, Rob Chapman. But yeah, so for some reason I like this video pushed out to loads of people. It's weird. But I'm gonna live in its glory while it's there. Robert is here. Great to see you. Good morning, Robert. Hope all's good with you, sir. Looking forward to Sunday myself, so I hope you're having a good one. James Severin says, hey, 3 Chord Dave, my Irish brother. Great to see you, James. Hope all is good with you. And Scott Steves is here as well. It's always nice to see you in the chat there, Scott. And hope you are well. Benny Larson is here. Great to see you. Benny says, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Benny, for dropping in to see us today. Vincent Doyle has become a member. Thank you so much, Vincent. I appreciate it so much. And he's a One Chord Supreme. That's the membership name. Great to see you, Vincent. Hope all's good with you, sir. I really appreciate your support on that side. Yeah, guys, we've got memberships now. You can find the link. I wasn't pointing at myself in a weird way. It's a link in the thing, or a membership button or something. You can press that, join the channel. What will happen going forward is you'll be able to get videos early. There will be exclusive membership content and all that sort of stuff. Basically what we were doing on Patreon, but instead of leaving YouTube, you just get it all here instead, because yeah, Patreon, I prefer Patreon. They take less money, but people are not signing up to it. So it's a case of just trying to justify having extra videos and stuff. And it's all there. If you want to be part of it, be part of it. It's going to be good. Maybe. Anyway, thanks so much, Vincent. I really appreciate you, sir, for doing that. Scott Bug says, next you'll get $10 for a first place a beauty contest. I mean, that happens to me all the time, sir. I'm always winning $10 for beauty contest prizes. I mean, literally only in Monopoly, but I get you. D-Mac says it was a cool video. Thank you, D-Mac. I really appreciate that, sir. Rob F says it was an excellent video, Dave. Very informative. Thank you, Rob. I did my best to pull as much information as I could, so I appreciate that comment, sir. And Greg McFadden says, I added it up and it would cost around 15,000 to buy all the new Epiphones that I want in all the different colors. Yes, Greg, that's the problem with the new Epiphone pricing structure. And they may have a few surprises up their sleeves still. So you can count on that. I think for the year ahead, there's a lot of stuff coming that's going to make you want to spend money. It's a pain. Yes, my bank account will be under pressure this year. Scott Brower says, is there a 3 Chord Dave email address? I refuse to be part of Facebook. There is. It's at the bottom of the description of every video, Scott. So you can absolutely message me there and I will get back to you. How soon I will get back to you is a question of how many spam emails I get. Because when you have your email address up on YouTube, some people will just put it into spam. put it into all these things. So when they need to put in an email address, they'll put the email address. Thankfully, it is just a YouTube email address, but I do try and filter it out and get back to everybody. I do sometimes miss emails or forget that I've read them and need to respond to them. So I will get back to you, sir. Hopefully, I'll try my best to get back to you. Let's just say that. Rob F says, "Ouch, Greg McFadden. That's a whole lot of eppies. It is. It's like four at the 2024 pricing." Uh, um, Let me see what else we got. Melvin Bosch says 15K. Ha, that is crazy. I mean, the different ones, yeah, I mean, I can understand. They're going to add up quickly these days. Um, Rob F says, I don't do Facebook either. Yeah, like I'm literally only on Facebook to check updates I get because I still get the messenger things. Some of my confidential leaks from Cesar and folks come through Facebook messaging and things like that. And also, sometimes I'll just find stuff on Facebook groups. Like there's a couple of good Epiphone groups, Gibson groups, guitar lover groups, that kind of thing. And I just love Zuckerberg having all my information. So that's what you do. It's irony, obviously. Bluesman's here. Great to see you, sir. Hope all's good with you and your blues is going well. Richard Clark says the new Epi Firebird may get my money if they're as good as the 59 standard outfits. I'm hearing good things, my friend. I'm hearing good things. So I do think that there is a possibility they will get your money. I'm tempted by them as well. I like I mean, this is kind of the Firebird I've been waiting for. A really, really, really good one. So I don't know. I'll be tempted by them. But the next guitar purchase is definitely going to be a Les Paul. Just what kind of Les Paul, how old it's going to be, Epiphone or Gibson, I don't know, but we'll see. It won't be until probably March at some point anyway. So I may as well wait for these ones, see what they look like. And of course, I'm going to go to the Gibson garage at some point in London. So that'll probably happen, won't happen until April, I think I said last week. So yeah, April, maybe I'll wait until then. I don't know. But well, seems like a long way away, but I know it's February already, so it's not. But there you go. Benny Larson says broken ribs can be awfully painful. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yes, not a fan of broken ribs for sure. So feel a lot of sorry for Scott. Greg McFadden says, not saying I could get them all, but just getting down to just a couple is going to be hard. Yeah, and I think that, like, honestly, Greg, I feel for you, man, because I'm in the same boat. I think they got more than just what we've seen so far. So, yeah, I'm sorry if my videos cause you more hardship mentally trying to figure out how you're going to get it down to less than a couple. Because they are definitely, I think, going to have some very cool guitars this year. Scott Brower says, soccer is a UK term, so it's not really. People in the UK will harass you if you say soccer. So, didn't say football. So, but yes, I say football because it's always been football to me. But also, like I call the two sports football. So there you go. Daniel Tilleru says, "Let's go," which I like. Good to see you, Daniel. Hope it's all good. Scott says, I'm thinking it's a fracture, but I'll ham it up. Why not? You may as well take advantage of it while you can, sir. Richard says, my ribs are usually okay, but I break wind if I play sitting down. When I get to a tough spot, it's like guitar face butt lower. All right. Rob F says, understand completely, Greg. Good thing is this ampere for me makes resisting a lot easier. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Mustard says, yeah, amp shopping here too. May even dive into the modeling world. I mean, if you've got what it takes to be a model, sir, you go do it. You be you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, why not? I think it's a good place. It's getting better all the time. Matt Van Bosch says, I fancy one of the single pickup Firebirds. Not sure I will be able to make myself pay 1,000 plus for an Epiphone though. And that's, as I said in the video, that's kind of where I've always been with Epiphone. I think $1,000 has been like mentally the place where I go and say, like, I'm not paying that much for an Epiphone. However, the reports on these Epiphones, these new Inspired by Customs, is making me think I will be able to push that aside. However, I go through Reverb a lot, looking at older guitars and stuff like that, and if they come in at a price point where I can pick up like a 10-year-old Les Paul, like a Gibson Les Paul, why am I going to pay that much money for a good, very good Epiphone, or I can buy like a very good Gibson Les Paul for the same money? Like that doesn't make sense to me. So they're going to have to, and everyone's saying the pricing is going to be 1,300 plus for these models. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Matt, and I absolutely feel like it'll be an internal tug of war for me. Yes, buy the guitar because it's a cool guitar, but it's an Epiphone and it costs that much money, and it's going to be one of those. I like I said in the video though, I think they probably have to be the best Epiphones ever made. There'll still be people who won't buy them because they're made in China, and I understand that. And there will be people who will be like, but they're the best Epiphones ever, so I'm buying them. And then there's people who just be like, it's not doesn't say Gibson, so I'm not buying it. Uh, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I think they're going to be really, really good. They have to be what they're doing. But I also wonder if you've got a choice of, for the same money, an actual Gibson from like 10, 15 years ago, or a, which is in good condition, by the way, that's important, or a brand new Epiphone. I think you're going with the Gibson. I think that's what I will do, but we'll see. I'm going to give him a chance, so give him a look and see what happens. But yeah, it'll be an internal struggle for sure, Matt, and that's a very good point that you're making. Daniel Tiller says soccer is a US term. Indeed, I would say so. Let me see. Where are we? Scott says, anyone remember what soccer is a conjunction of, or was it just in my mind? I have no idea, sir. Uh, formerly known as T says, I think Darwin is a great player. Just saying, if I was being executed for firing squad, my last wish would be Darwin to have the live round. Sir, me and Darwin will have the last laugh. Don't you worry. February 25th, Wembley Stadium. We'll see you there. Actually, I might not be able to see it, and it's a long story, which I'll tell you about closer to the event. But yeah, I might not. I'm going to be somewhere where I may not be able to see the match. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There'll be no Chord Dave live that week. I'll tell you more about that again as we get closer. Greg McFadden says, I know the feeling, but I got an Epi Shinichi Ubakata. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I apologize to Mr. Ubakata. ES355, and the quality is top notch, well worth more than the 1200 MSRP. These are not the Epiphones of the past. And that's a good point, Greg. Like, I can't see how these can be anything other than the best Epiphones ever made. They have to be at the pricing that they're going to charge. Also, Gibson are quite aware of the shit that they've been getting on YouTube and other places from people for their price rises over the last couple of years. Price to quality ratio has not been there, in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions. And some of us have YouTube channels where we keep putting out videos saying the same fucking thing about them, that they're just not, the price to quality ratio isn't there. And they have to rectify that. And how they're going to do it is have expensive guitars that are really fucking good. And if they don't do that, the reputation is shot, and people will just abandon Epiphone completely. So that's why they have to be good. Anyways, we will see how we get on when they come out in March. Benny Larson says, I'm getting close to pulling my gas trigger. I found one that I thought got away. Not old or anything, just not in production any longer. Cool, Benny. Yeah, that's it. I mean, hey, I don't want to be an enabler, but also I am an enabler for you guys. So yes, do it. I say that's what you need to do. And formerly known as T says to Benny, pull the trigger, Benny, in all caps. So, he's an enabler too. It's all good. Rob F says the mid-tier Epis are also very high quality these days. Yeah, nothing wrong with the Epiphone lower end. Like it's the ones that they're already charging 1,500-1,600 for that I have the issue with. The price to quality ratio isn't there on those, but there it is on the ones that are like 500-600. And I need to keep pointing that out because it's important to remember they do make good value guitars also. Muddy H2O is here, finally showing up 40 minutes into the show, which is nice of him. He says, why doesn't Cesar come out from under your desk to say hi to all of us? TCD getting soft on Epiphone pricing. I'm not. I'm just saying that they have to be the best guitars they've ever made, and then it'd be worth the price. Also, he may or may not be under my desk, or he may or may not have bribed me to say such things, or he may or may not have promised me that I'll get my Epiphone Deluxe that I've been asking for. The two of them, the gold top and the other one that I asked for, the Pelham Blue. So there you go. Yeah, I don't, I don't think so. But thank you, Sarah, for joining us and for the super chat. You are super nice. Sometimes. So there you go. Robert says, can we please stick to all things guitar related and stop talking about Chelsea? Some of us are suffering, you know. Sorry, Robert. Sorry. I'll do my best. It was T who brought it up. I try not to bring politics into it, but you know, he had to. Politics or religion. Don't bring him up. Not on my watch. But of course, I'm like a half an hour behind everybody, so I can't. I need people to not do that. Daniel Tiller says a bad to mid tier Epi is $500 now. It should be good. Correction, great. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna pump out way more of those at $500 to $600 whether or not they keep their level. But actually, right now, like people are, there's not a whole lot of negativity around those Epiphones. So I think they're doing a pretty good job. And I've said that for a long time. Like they seem to focus on Epiphone first, getting that kind of the lower end to mid tier sorted out a lot quicker. Now they're doing all this other stuff, and it's, well, you know, we can talk about it forever. I don't think we should because people be getting bored about it, but you know, it's kind of what the channel's built on. Al says, I had a great offer from the Gibson demo shop for the new Les Paul. Damn the timing, I just can't do it now. Al, you get all the good deals. I don't know how you do it, my friend. But yeah, unfortunate timing in that case. It would be the same for me right now. The timing's just not good. We'll have to wait until March. Pretty much. Actually, when does the thing pay out? The 20th of February is the work thing. Yeah, 20th of February, I'll be away then, and then March is going to roll around. There's so many things happening in March, man. I can't even tell you. Greg, I get the quality of Epiphone has massively increased. It is just a shame the prices have too. That said, the price of everything has increased over the last few years, says Matt Van Bosch. Indeed, it has. Yeah, but you know, they have to keep coming through. It's. I don't think the prices have gone up in accordance to, like, I don't think Epiphones should be 1600 for what they're doing now, the stuff that they've been putting out in the last couple of years. But I'm interested to see if these new ones will be worth the pricing. That's what I'm trying to say. And if they're shit, by the way, I will be the first one out there saying these guitars are shit, I promise you. But I can't see how they'll allow that. So I'm hopeful. What's that say, sir? No. Yeah, he says they're good. Al says, or sorry, Scott says, Al, the universe knows exactly when and how much I get paid. That actually explains a lot. I'm pretty sure Trogley had his eye on that Norland era LP. Well, there you go. Yeah, he was priced out of it, I'm sure. Even the great Trogley was priced out of a guitar. Although maybe if enough people sign up for his tour, which is $5,000, where, I don't know, he shows you some guitars and stuff, he'll be able to buy the next one that comes up. Who knows? Cushman says, I'm enjoying a nice cold rolling rock. Thank you. Good, sir. Glad to have it. That you are glad to hear that you are. And cheers. Marsha says, hey, sorry I'm late, having technical difficulties. Good to see you, Marsha. Hope all's good with you. Greg says, Rob F, I totally agree. Every Epiphone I've played in the last 3 years has been awesome. Where did that bubble come from? I don't know, man. YouTube, this program, it's just weird. Much more guitar for the money these days. If you didn't have the quality this good, they would never sell. There was a while when they didn't have the quality, and they still sold, weirdly enough. So there we go. Where are we now? I just got a whole load of stuff to go scroll back through. Now I see that I'm way far behind. There we go. Okay. I've heard good things about recent Epi acoustics. Interesting. Yeah, though I haven't looked into them too much, to be honest, but I'm not surprised. Can you turn your volume up? Not particularly. It's at the moment it's clipping kind of as high as I can get it. So let me see. I mean, it's at the same level it always is. So hopefully it is okay for everyone else. Where is my sound thing? There it is. Let's make sure that is up to the top. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. There we go. So that's about as much as I can turn it up. Hopefully it is not too loud now. Hope I didn't miss much. I'm guessing Dave is still saying hi to everyone. 21 minutes in. 21 minutes. All right, well, I'm 26 minutes behind now, so that's not too bad. I love my Epi Les Paul standard, says Al. I would challenge anyone to hear the difference while blindfolded. Very good, Al. Yeah, absolutely. It plays as well as my Gibson LP standard. Well, there you go. Yeah, real in the hands experience is obviously better than anyone going through just secondhand knowledge or something like that. Guys, I'm going to take like a 10-second break. Bear with me just a couple of seconds. I need to fix my nose. I'll be back in 10 seconds. See, I told you it wouldn't be that long. Rob F says, I vaguely remember that the Knopfler auction was for charity. Could be wrong. That makes more sense than him just deciding to sell a whole bunch of guitars. So yeah, good stuff, Rob. Rob says, I love my Epi 50s standard Cherry Burst. Very good. And Scott says, everyone hit like, please and thank you. Yeah, please and thank you. Must have worked because we have 54 folks watching and 33 likes. So that, well, I suppose we could get another 22 if everyone wants to chip into the old likeage. That'd be great. Thanks for that. I found my recent Epi LP standards and classics to be really good. Yeah, D-Mac, I appreciate that. That's cool. Mine is a 60s. I love the slimmer neck. I'm with you on that, Al. I love a slimmer neck also. And Stevie Mac says, just in, thanks for killing time till I got here. I've liked and wiped my feet. Thanks, Stevie Mac. Appreciate it. Yeah, we were just waiting for you. And I'm glad I got to your comment now so we can just crack on with the rest of the show. Marcia says, I think I better plug this thing in. It's an old Android watching the battery drain before my eyes. Yes, definitely take care so you don't miss the show. 25% of the proceeds are going to charity, not a small amount. That's pretty good. Matt Van Bosch, yeah, absolutely. He can send 25% to me if he chooses. I'd buy guitars with most of it. So that's good. Al says, I have the 59 also. While I'm not crazy about the neck, it plays great, which is great to hear. And I'll put my $180 center against any Epi under $1,000. You know, I'm not going to say it won't sound as good. I think there's a lot of really good budget guitars out there. So that's, yeah, I'd have to hear them. But yeah, I'd pay to see that. Must have said, and the auction was in Europe, so like 40% to taxes. Yeah, I don't know how it goes, but yeah, the seller's premium is probably going to be quite high, or the buyer's premium, or whatever. I don't know how Christie's worked it for this one, but there's definitely going to be an awful lot of tax payments. You can't hide that one from the tax man. Formerly known as T says, it was a charity thing. Christie's gave 50 grand to his 4 charities, 200K. He also sold a guitar signed by Guitars. I think they're doing a concert for cancer awareness or setting up an organization. Well, that's good. I support that fully. So yeah, that's interesting. Again, I'm just not paying attention to a whole lot of stuff right now because I've got bigger things going on. But I'm glad you guys can keep me informed on those kind of things. That's good stuff indeed. Rob F says, Al Adolfson, I was considering the 60s, but eventually chose the 50s as I was trying to roll your own Peter Green tribute, and the guitar is a 59 burst. Indeed, Rob, very good stuff. Al says, I'm thinking getting Dylan's Greenies. I have his DAFs and a PRS 245, and it plays great. I have my 59 on one side of my chair, my PRS SE 594 on the other. They have similar necks and sounds much the same. Don't tell Paul Reed Smith that. Formerly known as T says, saw an interview with Bob Taylor of Driftwood Guitars, the boys that cut guitars in half. His advice on guitar building is start with a kit and you don't need expensive tools. I mean, a lot of people would be angry with that. I think that's good advice, to be honest. Greg McFadden says 28 minutes behind new world record. I think so. I think somebody should make a note of that and be like, on the 3rd of February 2024, Dave was only 28 minutes behind. Marshall says, Geek Lord thought he was in the running for that famous Knopfler LP. In fairness, he probably thought that nobody would want the Norlin era Les Paul because everyone talks shit about Northern era guitars. But that has been changing since Gibson started to like look into reissuing stuff from the Northern era. Primarily Kirk Hammett stuff, but there's other stuff. Cesar's own kind of things like an M3 or something that he's got in his office is a Northern era guitar as well that he's reissuing for himself by the looks of it. I haven't watched him in ages, but the autoplay started the vid in my feed. I nearly peed my pants, then I closed the video. I mean, it's okay. There's no shame in watching Trogley. He is a very good YouTuber. He makes interesting, fun videos that everybody likes. So if someone could clip that up and just remember that. All of a sudden, I was a bit surprised when Dylan turned the out of phase DAFs into an actual product when I first asked him to make me a set. He didn't mention making more of them. Interesting stuff indeed. Andrew Collins says, I don't think many new products came out of NAMM. There wasn't a whole lot of new guitars. There was updates and stuff like that. But yeah, not an awful lot of new guitars. And as I know, there was lots of people thought Gibson and Fender were at NAMM and they weren't. PRS as well. PRS released their 2024 lineup before and NAMM, and we're going to see an awful lot more stuff from Gibson and Fender over the next few weeks. But yeah, in terms of that, like it was a quiet NAMM for a lot of people, I guess. So we'll see what comes out in the next few weeks. Aside from that, it's still early in the year. I think we'll still see a lot of cool things. But yeah, nothing really grabbed me from NAMM, to be quite honest with you. But we'll see. Dave Lewis says, hi, Dave, and all. Great to see you, Dave. Hope all is good with you, sir. Sounds like I'm talking to myself, but that's all fine. Because I do that a lot. It's business. If something sells, great. Make a product line. Absolutely. Greg, 28 minutes, not even close to Dave's record. I mean, I think he meant that's the closest. That's how I took it. Because usually I'm further. Yeah, absolutely. What I would think he meant. Apparently, one or more of Dylan's Epi LP videos did very well. Says Rob F. I'm sure they did. Yeah, a lot of people were following that series, I think. I even watched it. I don't really watch Dylan's videos a lot, but when I did, it was those ones to see how your guitar was getting on. Greg says, Marsha, I meant he was speeding through the chat today. See, I knew I was picking that up right. I bought a Fender 30th anniversary Screamadelica Strat on Tuesday in Scotland, says Dave. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know why, man. That one just reminds me of a Cadbury's Cream Egg ad from like when I was a kid. I don't know why. I know it's the album cover and stuff like that. But there you go. Scott Brower says, soccer is not an effing US term. All right, let's not get political about it. It's all good. It's all good. We are, we're all friends here. It's all football, soccer. It's all fine. We all know what we're talking about. Hey Dave, I had to hold myself back from getting that myself. Great album, great graphic on the guitar. Indeed. Al says, same as the emails where when we get tagged on Instagram, a whole new swarm of ads start to appear. I've stopped trying for free products that require tagging others. Yeah, man, you just end up in a loop of doing the same thing. And there's another thing. When you have a YouTube channel, you get tagged in everything. I'll keep doing it, I don't mind. Mark Dolan's here. Great to see you, sir. Says, yo, dudes, hope all is well. I've just dug out my old Blackstar HT5 amp from 10 years ago. Still sounds good. Nice. Like it. Leopold shits a load. Says, do any of you understand that Epiphone was never meant to be a budget brand in the first place? So what's the gripe? Epiphone is where they're supposed to be, and it's not going to change. I mean, Leopold, we've gone over this like 1,000 times. Every now and then, somebody who's like, do you guys know that Epiphone was its own company once and it was a bigger competitor to Gibson than anybody else? Yeah, we all know, man, but what has Epiphone been in the last 30 years? Let's be honest. What has it been? It's been Gibson's budget brand of it for import guitars. That's what it has been over the last 30 years. And that's what people expect of it. Now, they are changing that, and they're changing that profile. And that's what we're talking about. And what we're talking about is not Epiphone guitars, essentially. It's budget guitars being priced too high because they are still effectively budget guitars. So don't worry, but don't get too upset about it being Epiphone. It's all good, man. And again, like I've said this 1,000 times, I'm a Gibson fanboy, which means I'm also an Epiphone fanboy, which means I want them to be the best guitars out there. Just at the moment, they're not. So let's all be honest. It's all good. We don't have to fight about it. Everybody is allowed to have different opinions. But yes, we all know Epiphone's history. Don't worry about it. It is a guitar channel that's been around for about four years now. So yeah, we've talked about this many a times here. But I hope you're doing well, and thanks so much for your input. Anyways, it's all good. It's all good. We're all friends. Rob says, Andrew Collins, the new Friedman vintage amp based upon his old Plexi seems to have caught a lot of folks' eyes, will be available in a couple of months. Apparently, the next in the series will be an AC30. Good stuff, Rob. Benny Larson says, well, originally it was an English term brought to the US by British immigrants. Then the Brits went back to calling it football, so now it belongs to the USA. Finders, keepers. I mean, I'm all good with it. All good with it. Either way, as I said. Leopold again says, I have a high-end Epiphone custom Koa Les Paul 2021 and a real Koa top, all high-end electronics and hardware. I wouldn't have it any other way. Unfortunately, this model has been recently discontinued. That the Koa custom is one of that gets very good reviews. I don't know if it's, I mean, is it Gibson pickups that are in that, or is it Pro Bookers and the same electronics as most Epiphone customs, or was that different one? I'm not actually sure. But yeah, listen, I'm an Epiphone fan, Leopold, if you don't know that. One of my favorite guitars I've ever played is my Epiphone SG Special. So yeah, nobody's knocking Epiphone here, just keeping them on point. But anyway, I'll try not to get on my high horse about that. Having spent a lot of time in Germany as a kid, I still call the sport foosball, says Rob F. I mean, there you go. Richard Clark says, that Friedman did look cool, but I'm waiting for the Amp X release now. I was getting ready to pop on an Amplified Nation, but man, that Amp X. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Has anyone seen the guitar, what Andy Guitar Geek is using his Jack White Donner pedal video? I haven't seen the video, but Andy is very cool, so I think that would be a good one. I was very surprised that, yeah, Jack White and Donner were working together when I heard that about a week or so before the NAMM show, maybe 2 weeks. So we'll be interested to see how that goes. I think it's a 3-in-1 pedal. It looks very interesting, to be quite honest with you. All right. We're just about halfway through. Let's see how we're doing. We still have 55 people watching. That's awesome. Let me see. Leopold says, because Epiphone is the brand where it all began, if not for Les Paul and Epiphone, there would be no Gibson Les Paul. A solid body guitar today. All right, thanks. Greg says, Leopold, a load. Those are very good guitars. Played one about a year ago and it was great. And Leopold says, I'm out, nothing but BS here. Sorry to lose you, Leopold. Clearly you don't know that 90% of my content is pro Epiphone, but hey, much love, brother. Hope you're doing well. Richard says, I can't find one either, but have done days of research. Plus, Phil M says it's the best he's ever played and has never steered me wrong. Okay, bye, Leopold. You are too much awesome for us. We don't know crap, says Richard Clark also. I think that might be, I think it's just that I don't know crap. That's what it is. You guys know everything and are the best people on the YouTubes. Madeline Bosch says, Dave, you were right about the internal struggle with 1,500 Epiphones. Forget used Gibsons at that price, though. Epi are competing with brand new Eastmans at that price. It's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah. Slipped my mind for a minute. Yeah. I mean, I think the comparison will be much made about Epiphones to Gibsons. I intend probably to make videos about that and be like, should you buy this or should you buy this? One's a Gibson, one's an Epiphone. It doesn't make a difference. Is it like not relevant because it's just wood and strings and magnets? And we'll see how that goes down. I mean, that is pretty much the argument people who have pro Gibson channels is. And again, nobody get offended. I have Gibsons. I've bought Gibsons down the years. I have 3 in my house right now. 2 of them are unplayable, but one of them is actually quite good. But the point is, like, I've seen people say, look, it's all wood and magnets and strings and whatever. It's not worth paying $10,000 for a guitar. But that's all relative. If you've got 10,000 in a guitar budget, why not pay 10 grand for a guitar, or 20 grand, or 100 grand, or 9 million, or whatever it was that Mark Knopfler made for selling all his guitars? I mean, I don't think the same person bought all the guitars, but whatever. It's a lot of things like that. But if you're paying for that amount of money, whatever amount of money, you want to get good quality stuff, right? I think I lost myself in that point about halfway through it. So please try and make it your own. Penny says, I don't know. That depends on whether the owner has a tendency to take things very literally. In which case, naming a pet foosball is probably not a good suggestion. I don't know if there was a previous thing to that I missed, but that sounds like a conversation that I would have with my friends. With many an alcohol having been taken. Formerly known as T says, Muddy H2O, he is after a TCD Epiphone signature. Yeah, absolutely. Unashamedly. Cesar can stop me leaking information by just giving me what I want. So there you go. I mean, it will mean the formation of a new channel for Chord Dave, because I've been practicing. I should do that someday just for a crack. Maybe there's a New Year's. Okay, here we go. Where was I? A lot of comments dropped. I don't think. Hang on. Where is? I don't think this is really Dave. I think this is inspired by a version of Dave. I like it. I like what you did there. I see what you're doing. No worries. Take hardware and electronics out of the picture. I find it hard to believe that the core guitar of the 1500 Epi models can be much better than the 699 models. And that's a very valid point, and we'll have to find that out a little bit. And like, why are these models better? Are the other ones bad compared to this one? You know, in terms of the materials being used, it's valid questions will be asked, and I think they're setting themselves up for those questions. So there you go. Formerly known as T says, I think you could be right. He is drinking very slow. Guys, you are so obsessed with my drinking. It's weird. But it's all good. I love you. You know I love you. Also, the drink mostly is just in case I get a dry throat and I have to, lubricate my throat for the talking part of the show. Vincent Doyle says, can't get past Epiphone guitars are made in China. No matter how good the guitar is, they should be half the price they are at least. There's lots of folks on the same train as you there, Vincent, and I do appreciate that point of view. I think it's a valid argument and needs to be looked into a little bit. Like Rob said, are the materials going to be that much better? And are they going to, I mean, I would hope, I don't think they will, but I would like them to come out and be like, this is why these guitars are more expensive. We're using better quality of woods. We're using better, not just better electronics, better pots. The guitars are getting more attention in the factory, all that sort of stuff. I don't think they'll do that, but it would be interesting if they did see a little bit more, because they're doing that whole the process thing with the Gibson factory. Do something with the Epiphone one as well and show us why these guitars are worth more money. That would be very interesting. Will they do it? No, probably not. Money H2O says, formerly known as T, I don't think this is really... Oh, I read that one out already. Yeah, I forgot. I went back. Never mind. I'm not repeating Money H2O. Do we get in trouble when that happens? Boglip says, Benny, I'm not a good judge of such things. My last cat was named Emergency Rations. All right, man. Muddy says, that would be part of the authentic Dave they carried over. Okay, listen. I'm all authentic all the time, all right? Unless I get bribed. That's another thing. We'll get into that very shortly. Dave Lewis says, not all Epiphones are made in China. That's true. Currently, there are also some made in Nashville, but everything else is made in China currently. There were previous Epiphones made in Japan. There were previous ones made in Korea. I think that's it, right? I mean, there was a short Czechoslovakian adventure. I don't think that was very long though, right? But it was definitely part of the history if we're all going to dig into all of the Epiphone history. Who said that? That was Dave Lewis. Rob F says the cost of skilled craftsmen in China is not negligible. There's a reason manufacturing is moving to India and Vietnam. Yeah, absolutely. Even if produced in China, there's still a base cost for materials. That is true. And Margie Z says, love my Epiphone /J45. Yeah, I think those are cool guitars. Margie, absolutely. Not a big acoustic player because, I mean, who has the time when I'm trying to play electric? But if I picked one up, I would definitely take a look at that one. Let me see what else we got. Rob F. Richard Clark says, Rob F. My 59 standard kit Epi feels and plays as good as any of my Gibsons. I don't know how they make it $800 better. That's a great question, and that's what we'll be looking at. You see, how do they make that? Like if the only difference is the headstock, it's not worth anything extra. But there we go. Al says, if Brett Mason plays an Epi LP in the studio instead of a Gibson, who am I to say anything to the contrary? Yeah, absolutely. Booklip says, I'm not allowed to name pets anymore, only guitars. Yeah, just don't have that taken off you as well. That's important to take care of that one. Rob F says, yes, Al, there is also a lot of human hands-on time with the Epis too. Absolutely, yeah, it's not all just done by CNC machines, although quite a bit. Formerly known as T-Cell, I think Martin guitars are following in Gibson's footsteps. They just brought out their most expensive guitar ever made in Mexico. I see the Navajo custom shop in the near future. Navajo, is it? I don't know how to pronounce things. But yeah, I mean, I don't know enough on the acoustic side or the Martin side but I had heard that they brought out a very expensive guitar. It doesn't surprise me. Look, everything's more expensive than it used to be, and that's how it's always going to be, I suppose. But yeah, don't want to get into those battles either. Like, some of the things are more expensive, but they're worth it, and that's got to be remembered as well. Like, just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's bad value. So it's just nice to give Gibson some shit as well, because that's always fun. For some of us, I know. Scott says, I had a cat when I was a kid. His name was Magnum PI the cat. Last time they ever let me name a new cat. Rob F says, Trogley is a big fan of Norland era guitars. That's something we agree on, absolutely. I think they are criminally overlooked by a lot of people, or shit on criminally by people for no good reason. They're not all terrible. Rob F says, recently adopted a stray, had to lock him in my bedroom to avoid fights with their other male cats. He marked everything until snipped. I named him LP, or Little Pisser. There you go, Rob. There you go. That's a different LP altogether. Rockin' Rob 2004, great to see you, sir. Says, hey gents, how we all doing? I'm doing all right, Rob. Thanks very much. We're still here. We're still rocking. So that's all you can have. Rockin' Rob says, I have an old Koa Top custom LP, and mine has Pro Bookers in it. Good stuff, Rob. Yeah, those are... I mean, the Koa Top customs are very nice indeed. Mustard, I'm not reading that out about the cats. I just don't want to get in trouble, sir. But all good, all good. Where was that gone? Oh man. How are we all doing? There we go. I actually think we might be not a million billion miles away from the bottom of the chat, aren't we? Which is interesting. All right, where are we now? I know we'll Koa Top, that one we got to. Every amp is too loud for me. I just want a cheap, small, crap amp in a nice cabinet, says Scott. Hey, who knows? You might find it. I think the Pro Bookers are pretty good. Yeah, I've been at pains to try and say this, and I don't think I've ever really got my point about Pro Bookers across. I don't think Pro Bookers are bad pickups. I think they're quite good, but I think if you're charging the kind of money for a top-end Epiphone, that you need to have top-end electronics in it. And that includes Gibson pickups for Epiphone's case, or another top-end brand name pickup. But Pro Bookers are not bad. I have a set running around here somewhere, and I wouldn't mind putting them into something soon. In fact, I may put them in something soon. We'll find out about that in a future episode. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with Pro Bookers at all. It's like, Pro Bookers are worth, I don't know, $100 a set. Gibson will tell you they're worth more, or the Epiphone website will tell you they're worth more, but they're not worth the same as Gibson pickups. So swapping them out and charging the same money, it's a whole thing. But they are good pickups, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, again, cost to value ratio in a guitar. That's my main issue. Mustard says, the Scott, try finding used Marshall DSL 20, nice and quiet, usually cheap, sounds decent, looks great. There you go. That's one way of going. Rob F says, thank goodness the fixing solved the marking problem. Also, Nature's Miracle is critical. LP is now one of the best cats we have. For a second reading that, even though I just read it a minute ago, I was lost. But now here we are. LP sounds like a good cat. I'm here lurking. This phone ain't working so good, and my phone is still updating. Groan, says Marcia. Well, we're glad you're here with us, Marcia, and thanks so much for letting us know what's going on. Anyways, Rob F says to Scott, I suggest you invest in a nice cab and then look at one of the Joyo hybrids, 1x12 amp AX7 preamp tube with a 20 watt solid state power section, awesome amps for $200 and come in many flavors. Yeah, I mean, Rob, tell you what, when I'm looking for amps, I'm going to be like, Rob, tell me what to look at. You seem to know an awful lot more than I will ever know about amps. So I will be coming to you, sir. Keep an eye out eventually. If you see me saying, hey, I'm moving house, I'm coming to you for amp suggestions, sir. Dave Lewis says, my JHS Nauticlon arrived Monday morning. Good stuff, Dave. I hope you're having fun with it. Like setting it up and getting it ready and putting it together and all that sort of stuff. I've seen people do some interesting things with it, paint-wise and all that sort of crack. Rock and Rob 2004 says, have I missed or did you talk about the Mark Knopfler auction? Some beauties and some great money for his charities. We've brushed on it a few times here at the show. I'm mostly just talking about the Norlin Les Paul that went for like $10 billion or whatever it was. But yeah, obviously Mark Knopfler is one of the greats. So good to see a lot of his guitars get out to people. I just always feel like these people are going to regret those sales because there's some very nice guitars gone to new homes now. But for a good cause, obviously, as we found out throughout the show, that it was for charity and stuff. Rob F says, sweet Dave Lewis, I really want one, but I'm saving for stuff besides pedals. Yeah, amps are coming your way, my friend, I think, this year. Do people make /sell reproduction vintage cabs? Oh, you're going to go down the rabbit hole, Scott. I think there's an awful lot of stuff coming your way here. Greg McFadden says, Dave Lewis, congrats, I got one from the first batch and it's been great on my board. Enjoy. Very cool. Matt from Bosch says, sorry if I missed this, but do the new Epi Firebirds have Gibson pickups? They do indeed, sir. Gibson Firebird pickups in those Epi Fibers. Whether it's the Firebird 5 with the 2 pickups or the Firebird 1 with the 1 pickup. They are Gibson Firebird pickups, which is what has people excited. Like the specs sheets read pretty well from what I'm seeing so far. And yeah, they do look pretty good. I don't think so, Scott. Maybe you could get Zilla to make one that looks old and uses vintage era speakers. Dave Lewis says Dave only has the lager for the strap lock. I do like Grolsch. It is a nice beer. I do enjoy it. When I see it, I usually gravitate towards it. The added strap lock bonus is definitely a little nice kicker for me. Severe Band says Gibson prices are astronomical now. Epiphone is getting there too. Indeed, sir. I absolutely agree with you. It is things are pricey. Remember when Gibsons were like you could buy a brand new Gibson SG for $600? I do. It was 2019. I know that's 5 years ago now, but that just doesn't seem like a long time ago. But yeah, because I bought a Gibson SG for €599 and it was beautiful. But reminisce about the old days. Now I sound like my dad talking about when he used to go to school and stuff like that, which is a long time ago. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on with guitar stuff. Craig says Matt Van Bosch supposedly, but I haven't heard it confirmed. Or for the Gibson pickups. Yeah, no, they're Gibson pickups in the Firebirds. Yeah, absolutely. That has been confirmed. Because they're inspired by Gibson, they're all coming with, or inspired by Gibson Custom, they're all coming with Gibson pickups. That was what the whole big hullabaloo about them is. Richard Clark says to Scott Bogfoot, check out Amp Armadillo. Does it say Armadillo? It does. If they're still around, I got some relic knobs and stuff for my 5E3. I think they will make cabs. Grandpa Joe says Epiphone was also made in Indonesia. You're right, sir. I forgot all about that. But yes, they were indeed for a short time made in Indonesia. Gibson is getting better all the time. severe band. That I mean, I'm not going to argue with that because I got a Gibson last year and I was actually surprised how good it was. The Dave Grohl one. It's like I still play it from time to time now, and the other ones I've gotten, I have given up on playing quite quickly um, after playing. I mean, there was one I played a little bit longer, but yeah, it's been an ornament now for a long time. But we'll be seeing that on the channel very soon for another reason. But yeah, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube lately saying that Gibsons are much better and there's this and that. The thing you got to go with that is, and as I said, I've bought Gibsons. I have some. Is if you're comfortable with buying morally questionable guitars, and yes, I think I've proven that I am. So good. All for content. I don't encourage anyone to do it because that wouldn't be right to do. But at the same time, I do show people what they look like. I should shut up about it now. Matt Bosch says, Greg McFadden, thanks. I was hoping it would be the case at that price point. The single pickup one is stunning. The pink single pickup one is stunning. Time to move some gear on the Firebird Fun. Now, just on the pink one, they're calling it the Heather Poly finish. So, and also I think the pictures had been edited to look a little bit more, I don't know, fancier, nicer. I was talking to Six String Slinger who sent me the pictures. I say talking, he sent me an email saying that he did edit the photos a little bit. So we'll see what they actually look like a little bit closer, but definitely those Firebirds look very, very cool. Have any of you guys seen the Dean Guitars show interview series with Dean Zielinski? He has great stories about starting Dean when he was 16. Really good stuff. I have not seen that, Richard, but that sounds very, very cool indeed, and like an awful lot of very fun videos. I will look out for those for sure. Scott says the Slash J45 is such a small upcharge, and I would definitely get one if I was in the market for a J45. Anyway, that's a good point. Yeah, they are not that much more expensive. So yeah. I think they've pulled them from sale at the minute though, right? I do believe they're going to refresh the full Slash Epiphone lineup this year at some point. So we'll see. It's very hard to get your hands on a Slash Epiphone at the minute, so of any description. At least here in Europe. I'm sure some of you will know places that have them, but I can't find them anywhere. Not that I'm really going to buy one, but Greg says, yeah, I was leaning towards the 2 pickup Firebird till I saw the pink single pickup. And there you go. So yeah, it's going to turn a lot of heads, I think, that one. Dave Lewis says, I love my Epiphone Burgundy Noel Gallagher signature guitar. Lots of fans of that one for sure. I'm not sure if I regret missing out on that one or not. Because yeah, I don't know, something about it just screams, come and get me, because I was a 90s kid. I did bop to Oasis a few times back in the 90s, when I was a teenager. Cushman says, I have 5 Epiphone Elitist, great quality, made in Japan. Yeah, the Elitists are currently regarded, in my opinion, and many other people's opinions, as the best Epiphones ever made. These ones, in my opinion, have to be better. We'll see. Rappin' Rob says, Chord Dave, Epiphones were also made in Korea and Japan back in the day as well. Yeah, I think I said that, Rob. I may, if I didn't say that, I meant to. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Wayne McConnell says, Dave, I haven't drank in over 20 years, but can almost taste that growth, and I'm in Canada. Thanks for the memories, Dave. You're very welcome, Wayne. Also apologies at the same time. This is nice. I like this. It's now 23:10 Irish time, says Benny Larson. I like that. So we're only 10 minutes behind right now, which I think is actually brilliant. Thanks, Benny. You can keep you can keep telling me the times each week. I would appreciate it. That's awesome. Why didn't we start someone doing that earlier? That seems like we should have done that like 100 episodes ago. Richard Virginia says, went to NAM, came back with COVID. Crap, I can't say the C word. It's officially known as NAM tracks is what you got. You got NAM tracks. But yeah, a lot of people get sick on that. I got a little bit sick last year when I was coming home. But 3 or 4 days later, lost power of speech and everything. So I was fine though. Yeah, it was just my throat got a bit bleh. And I tried drinking a lot to cure it, and it didn't work. But I think the Martin made in Mexico could be a great guitar, says formerly known as T. Give the luthiers in Navajo a chance to put it up to the boys in Nazareth. Honestly, luthiers be luthiers. Doesn't matter where they're from, right? I mean, if they're dedicated to it and they get enough time to do it and they got good materials, good tools, and all that sort of stuff, which I'm sure they will, I'm sure they'll make a great guitar. Buglip says, after using my amp for 4 hours, I think it's time to read before use document. Those are just put in there for a joke. I don't think anyone reads them. That's cheating, says Rob. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's ever read that. Nobody in the history. I could say, congratulations, you were the first person to read this. You win all the guitars and amps you ever wanted. No one would ever know. There you go. Dave Lewis says, Greg McFadden I got a great deal on mine from GAC last year. Nice to get a good deal from time to time. Buglip says, I'd like to see if I'll get an electric shock first. I like surprises. Interesting. It depends on the surprise, of course, but yeah, good stuff. Rock and Rob says, hey, by the way, 3 Chord Dave, proud to be the Irish and in the kitchen. Ryan from Cork won Hell's Kitchen and won $250,000 salary working for Gordon Ramsay in Las Vegas, USA. I mean, that's great. I've never in my life watched Hell's Kitchen, so I believe you very much that it's good that he won it. But yeah, hey, if an Irishman wins it, awesome. And now I have to find out if I'm related to him so that he feels obliged to give me some of that money so I can feed my guitar addiction. I'm just kidding, of course. I already checked. We're not. We're not related. Formerly known as T says, I thought it was called Namtrax. See, told you. Hope you're all right, man. Indeed. Richard, Virginia, we do all hope you are well and have a speedy recovery from the Namtrax. Let me see what else we got. He came out our back door. I couldn't not let him in. Is that you talking about LP? I think so. Scott says, if they want me to read that, it better be on the outside of the box. Even still, sir. Bugnip says, I'm actually looking to see if it came with a USB cable. It did not. Dave Lewis says, I bought the Nodaclon for novelty factor to keep unbuilt. Interesting, sir. Interesting tactic. I'm sure yours will be one of the only ones not built, but good stuff, sir. Al says, anyone know why Colin Guitaristas didn't have a video yesterday? I think he just took a week off. Well deserved, I think. But yeah, I don't know for sure, but I hopefully he's doing all right. And I do definitely think that man deserves a week or so off because he puts out great content every week. But yeah, hopefully that's all. I did see a community post from him, and I'm pretty sure it said that he's just taking a week off. But all our best to Colin, just in case. You get the old dry throat again. Matt from Bosch says, Grolsch is the absolute business. Can only the Pilsner Urquell for me. I don't know that beer, but I will. I know. I have to go somewhere. I've never seen it, heard of it. I don't know. But if it's better than Grolsch, I think it's bound to be good. I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, let's find out by drinking beers together sometime. Richard says, Rob F, I just let one of my nightly visitors in. I have 2 of my own, but I take care of many outside. Yeah, there's some cats coming around here. They're feeding well on mice and stuff. So they'll probably stick around. That's just life living in a place like Wexford for cats. Although, even though I've had no interaction with the cats and I don't let them in because I'm actually allergic to cats, they continue to haunt my back door. The actual one of the house now. Don't be getting any ideas. Rob says, agree, Matt Van Bosch, you can use the red washers from the Grolsch bottles for your strap for slipping off your guitar. Indeed, it's the most common use of Grolsch guitar bottles is the guitar straps. I have literally hundreds of them at this point now. I'll never need to buy guitar strap locks ever again. Scott Bugfoot says, my master built was made in Malaysia, I believe. Interesting, Scott. I guess they must have done some different things with their acoustic lines and made them in different places. That would make sense, to be quite honest with you, I think. Rob F, let me see. Oh, hang on. Dave Lewis said, he said Friday before yesterday he was taking this week off for Colin from Guitaristas, which is great. Yeah, he deserves a week off. Dude works very hard on those videos. You can tell from video production point of view, he puts a lot of work into them. A lot more than I do. And that's why he has a lot more subscribers than I do. And he's well deserved of all those subscribers. Marsha says lurky, lurk. So, good to know. And that's really just Marsha saying if you haven't hit the like button, she's coming after you. So make sure you hit the like button. We don't want any incidents to come out of that. Benny Larson says the Fender Mustang LT25. I don't know. I don't think you accidentally blow that one up. No worry. You can accidentally blow it up. No worries, Buglips. I mean, I would find a way, I'm sure. New gear always makes me feel like a caveman furrowing my brow in a vain effort to understand. It can do that. It can do that for sure. Dave Lewis says, Colin Goodrich says, did a box opening for subscribers to his TV channel, which was a brilliant guitar. And he's doing a massive unboxing video this week for Friday. He bought some lovely guitars. Good. Getting worried when he sold a load of guitars. Yeah, absolutely. It's been worrying seeing him sell the guitars, and also him selling ones that I was like, damn it, I wish I could buy that. But yeah, Colin's great. I love him. Let's see, what else have we got? What time is it? 11:30. Not too bad. Go ahead, blow it up. You have warranty for that. Scott Bogford, of course, talking about Buglips' new amp. Don't blow anything up. That's my recommendation. It's all good. Matt Van Bosch says, the Cushman just reminded me your Elitist collection. Jealous. Very rarely come up for sale in the UK. Epiphone need to bring back a Japanese range. You never know. I mean, if this run of inspired by Gibson Customs don't do well, maybe they will. And if it does do well, maybe they'll be good in comparison. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on. So, Bugler says, I'll turn into that electric gremlin from Gremlins 2. Yeah, it's a great reference. I love it. Dave Lewis says, Rob, if Colin has had a lot of gas after selling over 20 guitars. Selling 20 guitars will give you a lot of gas, let's be honest. A lot of gas. So, yeah, I think I am running a bit close to the end of the comments. We better come up with some chat-worthy topics, or we just end early tonight. That's fine too. But Michael Tweska's here. Great to see you, Michael. It's been a few weeks, I think, since we've seen you, so it's great to see you in the chat, sir. Hope you are doing well, and that your daughter's doing well with the Telecaster lessons. Hope all's good there. Rob F says, perhaps you could create some fireworks with a transformer near your house. To Buglips, of course. I'm not going to encourage anything. 25 watts is more than plenty for home use, Buglips, says Benny. And Rob F says to Benny, it depends. Do you wish to entertain your neighbors? I don't think my neighbors know I have a YouTube channel or would be watching this, but my next door neighbor, who's like that way, I work in this office facing this screen like Monday to Friday, and there's a window here which looks out basically onto my neighbor's roof, because this is where his house is. And every day this week, pretty much, he's been up on the roof in his wife's winter coat, trying to fix their satellite dish for the TV. And they're Polish, so they scream at each other in Polish about whether it's working or not. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I wasn't watching, and I wasn't paying that much attention the other day, but I think I heard him fall off the roof, and he hasn't been up on it since. So I've seen him. He's outside, like walking and stuff, but I think he fell off the roof and hasn't gone back up on it since, which I knew was going to happen, but I didn't get to see it. I just kind of heard, oh no, and then poof. So that was fun. It was the highlight of my Thursday. Anyways, why did I get into that? Oh, entertaining your neighbors. Yeah, they entertain me by climbing up on the roof. So there you go. Let me see. Where are we now? That was from Rob F, who said, entertain your neighbors. Indeed, sir. We're not friends, by the way, my neighbors and I. We're acquaintances. That would be the third time transformer in my yard exploded, said Buglet. I mean, take it easy on the transformer, sir. They are great guitars. If you see one, get it, says Cushman about the Epiphone Elitist models. I was looking at one in Reverb recently. They're Yeah, yeah, they look nice, and everyone says the same thing about them. Then you're obviously doing something right, Bug Lips, says Rob F, which is very good. It's just encouraging chaos. I love that. I love that. That's what we do around here. Good stuff. All right. Let's see. What else have we got? Have I missed any super chats or anything? Because it's acting weird. No, I haven't. Because I did miss Glenn's super chat last week, and he's not here this week, so he must have been super offended. I'm sorry, Glenn. We love you. If you're watching and not talking to me, that's understandable. I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully I won't miss any more super chats the rest of the time that we do 3 Chord Dave Live. Just that one from Glenn, that's all. Buglip says I was messing with sound and couldn't hear anything, but the neighbor's cat was in the window, turning his head upside down. That might be something you need to call a pope for or something. I don't know. Benny says you'll get Buglips arrested before he's 18 if you keep up the encouragement rap. Technically, none of the Transformer explosions were my fault, says Buglips. I don't believe that. And Richard Virginia says, Beard Dave is getting into ZZ Top territory. It is, in fact, yeah. It's actually, I mean, if I actually straightened it, it would be there already. So yeah, we're pretty close. It's 4 years old now, my beard. The last time I shaved was in 2020, right at the beginning of the year. So yeah, here we are, ready. If Billy wants to give me a call. I mean, I'll be absolutely useless in the band, but still, I'll have fun. It'll be great. We'll have all the beard. I have enough beard to be in ZZ Top. I do not have enough talent or skill, but there you go. Matt Von Bosch says, Cushman, probably on my list of guitars to purchase, probably an ES335 if I can find one for the Epiphone Elitas. That would be sweet. Sir, I'd be very jealous of that. Absolutely. Matt also says Pilsner Urquell is Czech, def worth checking out. See, I mostly just buy my beers in the supermarket, but there is a supermarket near me that has a very good beer section, so you never know what they'll stock someday. Yeah, we'll see. We might do it. T says, any word on how Ryan is doing? I don't have any update for you personally, but I do see him around a lot. More as in active on Facebook and stuff like that. Just like the little thing says that he's active. So yeah, I think he's doing a bit better. He's obviously got some recovery to go. But of course, Ryan is one of our like long standing OGs. So we're wishing him all the best in his recovery from what's going on there. But I do think we'll see him again soon, hopefully. Hopefully he's on the mend. And it's great that we're all sending him good wishes. Marcia says, by the way, anyone know a good way to fix a scratch I made in a black peg head that's now showing the silver underneath when I tightened the nut? You did what to the nut? Yeah, paint it black. I don't know. I saw somebody recently with some sort of thing, but I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I would just be like, it's got character now. Must be unwell if he's not here, says Scott. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we found out recently. Mustard says, Marsha, matte or shiny black. Yeah, I suppose that would make a difference. Cushman says, have an Elitas 335. It's awesome. Sounds spectacular, Matt Van Bosch. Good luck, brother. I think Matt Van Bosch is going to be very jealous right now. He's going to be like, why are you driving me crazy? Feel your pain, Matt. I do. Scott says, hope you're back and better than ever soon, Ryan. Indeed, that is my wishes. Booklip says, I got the tone app for the Mustang. Seems like it's easy to use. This should go a long way. Very good, very good. Mar says, also, by the way, where are all 59 likes? I just saw 59 people in here and we have 40 something likes. Please hit the like. It's free and helps the channel, and then I won't be at you silly for not doing it. Yeah, super important to hit the like button. If you're liking 3 Chord Dave Live. If you're not liking it, don't hit the like button, because that's just not your thing. It's fine. Nobody has to like the thing. We do have 47 likes and 53 viewers. That's a pretty good ratio. I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you so much to everybody who's done that. It does help the channel. It's one of the best ways you can help it, because what it does is YouTube goes, hey, people are hitting the like button. Let's show this video or this channel to more people, like in the same profile as the people hit the like button. just you may not be interested. But if you hit the dislike button, what it does is it goes, this person does not like this channel. It doesn't affect the channel being shown to other people or not. It just goes, this one person does not like this channel. So if you hit, I think you probably have to hit the dislike button like 4 or 5 times on the same channel to never see it again. But yeah, they just be like, you don't like this. One channel will show it to you less and less and less and less. And every time you see it, if you hit the dislike, you then stop seeing that channel. But it doesn't affect the overall performance of the channel. But hitting the like button, it does. So if you're, no matter what channel you're on, if you hit the like button, you're actually doing them a big favor. So, and it's something that even as a creator, I forget to do when I'm watching YouTube videos sometimes. So try and be more. One of my 2024 things is to try and be more cognizant of hitting that like button on channels I like Glenn. Glenn has a YouTube channel, so yeah, absolutely. Like on Scott Bogfoot's channel when I watch his videos, like on Colin's videos as well. And Muddy H2O's videos don't go out on YouTube, they go on a different platform, if you know what I'm saying. But you know, sometimes I hit the like button on those too. It's not true. I hit the dislike button on them, but there you go. Mustard says, Marsha, if it's matte, you can try model paint. I've had a look with that in the past. I think you need a different clear coat if it's glossy, though. It's, yeah, possible. Did the price of Epiphone DG come out? So, okay, this is causing a little bit of people being angry for no reason. Sweetwater customers have been told, a lot of Sweetwater customers have been told $12.99 in the US for the DG335 from Epiphone. Some other people who are Sweetwater customers are saying $13.99, and I've heard also from people who are usually in the know about these sort of things that the price hasn't been confirmed yet. So I don't know, but apparently Sweetwater are telling a lot of people that it's $12.99, and people have shown their receipts that say $12.99. So there's a good possibility $12.99 in the US, which means, as you know, about $14.99 here in Europe for some reason, because guitars have reverse exchange rates for some reason. So yeah, we are $12.99 US, $14.99 euro. That's what I'm expecting now, which is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be, because they could have put any old price on those and they would have sold. So we'll see. But latest news on the DG335. I was talking to someone just a couple of days ago, and they said don't expect to see them until June. So I don't know if that's true or not. Pre-orders are being taken now, but maybe we've got to wait. Or that could have been somebody who's like pre-ordered it and they've been told June, but they're in the second batch. So I don't know. But initially I was expecting them early in the year. So we'll see. I definitely think though $12.99 might be the accurate price. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because that would actually be really good for what they're putting out nowadays for signature models and stuff, as you know. Booklip says, no, this one definitely doesn't have Bluetooth. I think the LT40 might. And we had Jeremy Walsenholm, who had a message redacted, which I can't. Why won't YouTube let me see this message? It used to do that. It used to allow me see it, but yeah, now it won't. Well, all right. Well, hopefully all's good. Let me click on that. Okay, there we go. Rob F says, Matt from Bosch started with Göttingen Pilsner at age 10 and never looked back. Pilsner Urquell is the best I can get reliably in the States. We do have a local microbrewery that has decent Pilsner. Very good. Yeah, absolutely. Beers, they work. Let me see. Thank you, Mustard. It's shiny, but it's in a spot on the underside of the peg head where it may not matter if it's matte. I'm more worried it shouldn't start peeling now. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Booklip says, I've got so many cables, it's like living tentacle hentai. It's not a topic I thought we would broach on this live stream, but you know, we're all in that field. There's cables everywhere. They're just part of a guitarist's life. Just all kinds of cables everywhere. Yeah, just I don't know why I can't wait until cables are not a thing. Scott Buffett says, can you call the Pope? Yeah, you use the Pope signal, you know, like the Batman signal, but it's the Pope on it, right? Have you not got one of those? You should get one. They're good. Al says, what do you want to call them? El Popey. I would say. Apologies if I offend anyone. I'm not a religious person, so I'm not trying to be offensive, I promise. Benny says Pilsner Urquell is a great beer, Rob. Man, I'm gonna have to try and hunt it down now. I presume I can get it somewhere. Probably won't be too bad. Greg McFadden says, formerly known as T, most reports from pre-orders are $12.99 to $14.99. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. Vincent Dawes says, anyone going to see Slash in Dublin next month? Not a great album. They're touring, but I'm sure the GNR tunes will be played. Yes, sir. I will be there. Well, I have tickets and I should be there. So all going well. Yeah, they're playing. I've seen "Don't Damn Me," which is impressive because Guns N' Roses have never played it live. So, yeah, pretty funny. And Todd, damn it, Kieran's friend of the channel, of course, he is doing the vocals on that. So, very interesting. Also, they've got their other three albums. Is there three albums? Yeah, which are not bad. So yeah, it should be a good rock and roll evening, I think. Where's it on? The Point? Or what's the Point's not called the Point anymore, is it? It's not the 90s. The Three Arena, I think. So yeah, I have tickets anyway, so I should be there, Vincent. Um, but we'll see. I'm excited for them. I've yeah, like I do enjoy Don't Damn Me, so I'm looking forward to hearing it live for the first time ever. Um, should be fun. Should be fun. What date is that next month? I know it's next month. The next 2 months are stacked with things. I just don't know. I know I have two trips that are in March, February, March, and then I have to get to London as well for the Gibson thing. So three trips, I suppose, and just all sorts of everything going on. It's going to be a busy time. I might make some videos. We'll see. Mustard says, Marsha, I use Tester's Corp semi gloss. Might do the trick. I love that we help each other out, guys. Thanks so much for that, Mustard. Appreciate it. 10 years old. It is cool to support local brewers, but I do really appreciate a high quality Czech beer. They do not mess around with the quality of their beer, says Matt von Bosch. Get quality beer from Czech Republic is the standard, I believe. Yeah, never had a bad Czech beer. Have I? No, I don't think so. Yes, it is, Benny. Though I don't ever remember drinking Pilsner other than Miller that I didn't like, says Rob. Miller is not awful. Okay, never mind. Henry Ludinger says, I cover those nicks with black nail polish. That's, yeah, a lot of people do that. That's a great point. Hadn't even thought of that, to be honest. Dave Lewis says, saw an excellent looking British made Les Paul style guitar with interchangeable pickups and a Rob Chapman car crash video from NAM this morning. It wasn't the Relish guitars. That's the interchangeable pickup one, I know. They were trying to sell them off really cheap last year, so I don't know if it's a different one. Or no, it's not Relish. There is a different one. Ah, God, who is it? They did a big thing a couple of years ago. Billy Gibbons pickups in it. Um, I can see the shape of the guitar. It's a funny looking thing. Like it has a weird flat bottom. Anyways, I think I know the one you're talking about. They're nice guitars. William Forrest says permanent black marker for your peg head. There you go. That'll work too. And Matt von Bosch also says, and William Forrest, by the way, glad to see you. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Matt von Bosch says permanent marker, the Bodger's choice, indeed. Dave Lewis says on my iPad it says 27. There you go. I mean, 27 seems like right. I think on the likes, yeah, it only updates every time the thing reloads, I think, or when you join us. Yeah, so it uploads for me in like live. So when I call it out, we're at 50 likes and we've got 50 viewers. I think 50 likes might be the highest we've ever had, guys. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I'm super happy with that. It's because it's, I mean, we talk about all kinds of things. It's not just a guitar related show in the live stream, because we talk about the weather, we talk about Scott's broken ribs, we talk about like cats, all kinds of things. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and a lot of new people obviously come in, and we're talking about beers and stuff. So yeah, it's cool that you guys have all popped along to join us today, and thank you so much. You are all the greatest. There you go. Al says, I just saw 17 likes refreshed and the likes jumped to 47. Yeah, YouTube likes to hide the likes for some reason. Formerly known as T says, anyone tried Gildan Drac? 10.5%, but it goes down real easy. Well, anything to drown your sorrows after Wednesday, T. Sorry, had to get a late one in for that. But, we'll see you February 25th. Which channel for that? Says Dave Lewis to Benny. You guys are both asking which channel. I so hate commenting without my keyboard. Yes, I would not be able to comment without my keyboard. I don't comment on stuff on my phone very often. The times I do is when I'm watching Upstairs to the Right Music's live stream. Mike does the live stream, and it's usually past my bedtime. So I will type on my phone. It's the only time I type on YouTube on my phone, really, because everything else I'm watching on my computer when I'm working. I mean, not watching on my computer when I'm working. Just in case anyone from that company I work for is watching, which they may be, because, I give them hassle sometimes. T says, I can't figure out the exchange rate on guitars. Some are over 20% of the American price, and others come in a lot less. Yeah, it just seems to be crazy, I mean, euro, if you have €1, you get like, I don't know, $105. But if you buy a guitar and it's $1,000 in the US, it'll be like $12.99 in euros here in a lot of cases. That makes no sense. But as we've covered before, there's taxes included already where they're not in the US. There's different shipping rates and all that sort of stuff. It never balances out, but hey, that's the price of living in Europe, I guess. With all its craziness. Anyway, Rob, I can type on my phone. I type on my iPhone. This Android keyboard is not responsive at all. Probably, hopefully, after the update, that'll be fine. Let me see. Benny says, Rob Chapman car crash video, his own channel. Yes, it's on his own channel, Benny. Went up this morning, I think. Rob says, Dave is close to catching up. We can't let that happen. Let's get talking to folks. Indeed, what's going on? I'm so close. I'm going to catch you guys eventually. Rob, that's what I'm hardly talking. That's because I'm hardly talking. And where are some of the regulars? Says Marshall. The Glenn didn't turn up. He's upset because I missed a super chat last week. So apologies, Glenn, if you're watching at a later date or just lurking and not talking to me. I understand. Next time, I promise I'll read it out. Is it me or is there something about Rob Chapman that just doesn't seem right? Says Rob F. I don't think I can say anything because like a whole YouTube drama will pop up. I don't mind Rob Chapman. I think he's all right. Not a fan of Chapman, says Al. It's not just you, dude. Mustard. He seems like a dude. That's all I will say. And I think he's doing his best to make sure that he is a guitarist, guitar company owner, and a successful one at all those things. And good luck to him. I've never had any run-ins with him, and I hopefully will keep it that way. I don't particularly pay a lot of attention to him, but and he doesn't pay attention to me as far as I'm aware. So we're all good. It's all good. Matt van Bosch says to Benny Larson, the irony of Rob Chapman actually being in a genuine car crash in one of his videos. One of his car crash videos. I mean, come on, Matt. That is too clever for me, sir, at this hour of the evening, but I like what you did there. Thank you, sir. And Mustard says, I also feel like Danish Pete is mid-guitar player. I know that's not a popular opinion. I know he has a good ear, but come on, man. Play something wild. What I will say, Mustard, is I respect your opinion. I personally wish I could play as well as Danish Pete, and I can't. Maybe if I practice for like more than 3 weeks at a time, that will happen. Dave Lewis says, Benny Larson, yes, it has a crash site police thumbnail because their car got T-boned by someone and Rob's car ended up going over. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Indeed, and T also says, I can't say what I'm thinking, but what would be the Pope signal? Be exactly what you're thinking, T. You know what it is. You went to all the Catholic school stuff that I went to when I was in school in Ireland, I'm sure. And yeah, same thing. That maybe, says Mustard, I don't know. A load of clan members could show up as well. I mean, we gotta be careful with that. Hopefully not. We don't want to encourage any of that sort of crack. Far be it from me to comment on other people's guitar playing. At least I get the feeling that Danish Pete is good people. I think so. I tell you, last year when I was at NAMM, I didn't personally approach him to speak to him, but everybody who came up to speak to Danish Pete, he had time for. He would make time for, and he spent time taking pictures and talking to people. And that was very cool. So I think he is good people, to be honest. Al says, I like enjoying listening to Danish Pete. He's very melodic. And formerly, Mustard says, formerly known as T. Probably some overlap there. Indeed. Benny Larson says, Dave, seriously, have you never had a Pilsner Urquell? It's an original beer. It's the original lager, man. As close as it'll get. Anyway, I haven't, sir, but I will be on the lookout for it. If I can find it for next week, I will bring it to the stream. Why not? I doubt I will, but I will try. Must have said Rob F. Oh, for sure. No argument. He seems like a genuinely good guy. I agree with that. T says Danish Pete played with the Tom Jones band in Las Vegas, I think. I'd say he'd want to be above average to land that gig. I think he's a good dude. And Matt Von Bosch thinks that too. So I think we're on the same field there. But again, like everyone's entitled to think. Some people think John Mayer is amazing. Some people think he's terrible. So I mean, you can't win. Some people think Joe Bonamassu's no good. Others think he's great. Some people don't like Slash. I think he's great. So I mean, everyone has different tastes, and it's all good. I mean, as long as we're respectful, I think there's no problem saying you're not a big fan of somebody, you don't think he's as great as everyone else thinks. That's absolutely fine. Keep it respectful, which was done, I think, here. So yeah, it's all good. I mean, if people say that they don't think I'm a great guitar player, then we got issues. But so I mean, I called myself Three Chord Dave for a reason. And as Al said, I enjoy listening to what Pete plays, says Rob F. Where was I? Oh, we might actually have a few things. Dave Lewis says they're designed by Billy Gibbons. There you go. See, I knew there was something. I think we had 60 once, says Marshall. Yeah, but at least 15 of those were Glenn. So Glenn has multiple personalities on YouTube, and we love him for it. Rob F says, I think Google is getting to know me too well. The algorithm has figured out my three favorite bands. First suggested video link below is my mix, The Who, Soraya, and Social Distortion, and more. I mean, I love a bit of The Who. Who doesn't? Benny Larson says, anyway, how about those new Gibson SG Supremes? I like the wine red one, 3 Chord Dave. Like, look, guys, I love SGs. I do. Supremes are a bit of an odd one for me. I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm an SG special guy. I don't know. I don't think the SG needs to be supreme. But I dig it. I dig that they're doing the same thing, giving it the same treatment they gave the LP. So yeah, I like it. I always think flame tops, it's very difficult to make an SG look good with a flame top, especially if you're going to burst it. So we'll see. I'd like to see one of these Supremes in person before I pass judgment. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that it's not very appealing to me for some reason. I don't know why. Al says, is the increase in euro prices for guitars include duty and taxes? Yes, all taxes and duty would be included in the price, but it still doesn't balance out, Al. It's always, let's say, if a guitar costs $1,000 without tax in the US, right? That guitar, by the time it comes to Europe, you should still be talking about what, say 1,200 with taxes and stuff included, but it'll be $14.99. I mean, that we're talking about. It's usually double what it should be is the difference, and not with all brands and not with all guitars. It's very hit and miss. But there's like I've worked it out on certain guitars, and it's always a bit like, why is this more expensive? Because it shouldn't be. If you work out the with tax prices in the States as well, it just makes even less sense. But yeah, it's it's infuriatingly different, and lots of rumors as to why it is. Fister Roboto says, Rob F, I love Danish Pete's playing. Generally, don't like the Andertons videos, but Danish Pete's sound is amazing. Yeah, absolutely, Fister. And Buglip says, I complain, but at least I'm not a left-handed guitarist trying to get gear in deepest Siberia. I like your attitude, Buglips. I do. I think that's the right way to look at it. Amsterdam Navigator, 14% volume. A mate bought some in France in the 1990s. It was that thick that I didn't want to come out of the can into a glass. That sounds like it may have had issues, sir. Muddy H Show has done yet another super chat, sir. I do appreciate it. And it says, Slash is overrated. Disrespectfully yours, Muddy. I mean, I think that you're wrong, sir. But but I know that you're just saying that to to, to drive me crazy, and it worked. It worked. But anyways, thank you so much for your super chat. Al says, I like Anderson's videos, but the captain is not a good interviewer, stutters too much and hogs way too much time for the interview. I'd love to interview some of the people that he has interviewed. That's for sure. That's all I'll say on that. I've interviewed some nice folks down the years, Oscar nominees and best-selling authors, and who else? I mean, filmmakers and actors and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd like to give guitar people a shot. I've never really got to interview a whole lot of guitar people. That'd be great if Duff McKagan or Slash want to be interviewed. Gotcha. Brian Richard says, Grolsch beer. Indeed, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. MEC Rob says to Fister, I find many of the Anderton videos entertaining. I, of course, would never make a purchase decision based on one of their videos, which is the smart way to go about it. Yeah, because bear in mind, they do make great videos, but they are a store trying to sell the gear as well. So you've always got to keep that in mind. Buglips with the super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it so much. Says, Slash is underrated and I want to have his baby. Is that possible? I don't know. I don't want to have his baby. I just think he's a good guitar player. He's made some of the songs that I enjoy listening to the most. But thanks, Buglips. I appreciate you, sir. That was super kind of you. Chad L says, cheers to everyone here. Cheers to you, Chad. Thank you so much for joining us. Rob's wife was singing in the video, says Dave Lewis. Rob Chapman's wife, not Rob F. Richard Clark says, Chapman's a bonehead. Danish Pete is solid, but not a monster by any means. And you're free to say that, sir. Al Adolfson says, I bought a guitar here in the US from Anderton's. His sales are tremendous. Got a PRS for half price. That is here. And even with $100 shipping, saved a ton. And it shipped in 2 days. I bought a guitar from Anderton's, my SG Special. And it took a week to get here. And the delivery driver left it outside in the rain. So yeah, that's, of course, that's not their fault whatsoever. And it's one of those things that it's some people blame the store for. I don't. I thought it was a funny story. Thankfully, I was at home and I was able to run out and bring the guitar and the amp I bought at the time, that one, into the not rainy part of the house. Mar says, I didn't like Rob for a very long time because he did some shady things, according to KDH, but I haven't seen anything like that in ages. Everyone deserves another chance. Michael Tweska says, Rob might be my dad, only if that means I get free Victory amps. Hey, if it works, Michael, it works. I love it. Buglip says, I got gifted a non-alcoholic craft beer which tastes like citrus. It's like if hell was a flavor country. Sir, I appreciate you. I do. Benny says, lol, I wasn't sure what kind of car crash we were talking about. Phil X played some sick EVH at the NAMM show. He's rocking. Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool, actually. If anyone asks, I'm not shady either. You didn't see nothing, says Buglips. I don't know. I'm just going to keep quiet about it, Buglips. It's all good. Dave Lewis says, I watched John Mayer playing with the Stones earlier this evening. Very cool. That would be fun. I haven't seen that. Clip actually must go hunting for that. See what it's all about. I'm not as big a fan, but, he's undoubtedly a very good guitar player. Matt Bosch says, Rob Chapman is divisive, but you have to respect what he's achieved. I agree with that. Chapman guitars are a bit niche for me, but they are a successful brand. I like that they're doing their own shape. They're doing their first ever own shape now. I think it's coming out soon. They did announce it at NAMM. They were showing some video. I think KDH did a video where they showed that. I think that's where I saw it first. So yeah, kudos to them, and I agree with you absolutely, Matt. You got to respect what he's achieved. It's not easy to achieve stuff like that in this YouTube age, and people not being happy with other people succeeding and stuff like that. There's always someone trying to take someone down. So yeah, fair play to him for that. Sometimes the algorithm even knows what I'm in the mood for, says Benny. It's scary at that sometimes, to be honest. Sometimes it's terrible at knowing what you're in the mood for. What I'm in the mood for, anyway. Dave Lewis says, Danish Pete was playing a lovely looking black Chapman Telly in a few NAMM videos. That might be his signature model. He has a signature model Telly shape. So yeah, I think that might be that one. I don't know, because I haven't seen a lot of coverage from their booth. Al says, here in the US, I've heard in the past that Chapman guitars or quality issues had problems getting resolved, especially with the mom and pop stores. I think they had to change their suppliers, their factories a few times, but I think they're on a good track now, the last year or so. But yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think that's the case. They've changed to a more reliable builder for them now. Richard says, I don't know how Chapman is successful. They just failed to deliver another line last year. That they've had a lot of supply issues. Again, maybe I'm wrong about getting it sorted out. I don't know. But hopefully they will get sorted out with that. Yeah. I don't pay too much attention to Chapman guitars because they're just not the kind of guitars I'm going to pick up myself. I like what they do because they were initially doing like, you could vote on what features were in the next guitar, the design aspect of the guitars. So yeah, I don't think they're doing that anymore, but still, I thought it was a cool idea. James Grote, great to see you. Thanks for joining us in chat. Says the Captain meets Tim Pierce was really good. That's still on my watch later list. I haven't seen it yet, but obviously Tim Pierce is a goat himself. Yeah, one of the best on YouTube. Brian Richards says, I respect every guitarist in his own way. We all love the same. That's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Planning to watch that tomorrow morning while I practice, James says. Rob F. I'm a Tim Pierce fan. In his masterclass, I love his playing. He's amazing, to be honest. He is absolutely amazing. Incredible career as well. All right, let's see. We are past the end of the show, pretty much. So let's see. Matt from Bosch says, Rob F. Agree, Lee is the brains business admin behind the brand, but without Rob and YouTube, Andertons would not be turning over £50 million a year. Wow, that's a lot. There you go. William Farr says, Slash is overrated and probably drinks shandy. How dare you, sir? How dare you? James Grote says, new guitar this week was a Chevrolet SoCal in satin orange. Very cool, James. Brian Richards says, what are your thoughts about the Les Paul with P90s? I love P90s. I think if I'm gonna buy a Les Paul with humbuckers, I'm also gonna buy one with P90s. So yeah, I like them. Anyways, let's see. If we use it wisely, I think the technology departments these years could become invaluable tools. So we're probably effed. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say anything because I work in the technology department, so we keep quiet about how much work gets done and doesn't. Anything with proper P90s has to be great, says Richard Clark. No disagreements here. What else? Where was I? Tim's site is for everyone, beginners, intermediate, and late intermediates. He touches all genres except shredding, country, pop, and blues. Nothing with copyright stuff, but close. Tim's amazing. Tim Pierce is amazing. If you haven't come across Tim Pierce's stuff, you should just look him up straight away. He's amazing. Yeah, definitely very cool guy. Al says I've been in his class for 2 years now. Wow, that's amazing, Al. Great stuff. Scott Bogford says, thanks, Dave, for everything. Rob F says, thank you, Dave. Have a great week, friends. Al says, another great stream, Dave. Grandpa Joe says, cheers to all. See you next week. Scott says, thanks, chat. See you all. And Dave Lewis says, cheers, Dave. Night all. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for everyone who stuck around despite the BS, as Leopold told us. And of course, I think he just got the wrong end of the stick. It's all good. Thanks to the super chatters. Thanks to the other chatters. Thanks, everybody. There is news coming very soon from guitar stuff. I will make a guitar video about it, and that's why I'm Chord Dave, and I'll be back with another guitar-related video very soon. But until then, take care.